Why this story matters. Stories like this remind us that improvement often comes through small, steady efforts. Quick summary: this story highlights recent developments related to health, showing how constructive action can lead to meaningful results. W hat, if a ticket to the opera could also be a prescription against loneliness. In Hamburg, the non-profit KulturistenHochZwei play on the words culture, kultur and tourist. Ouristen is turning concert and museum visits into powerful social medicine. Founded in 2015 by Christine Worch, a former marketing executive who left her career to care for her father with dementia. The initiative pairs teenagers with older adults to attend cultural events, everything from symphony performances to plays and art exhibitions. For the seniors, many of whom live on limited incomes and might otherwise stay home alone, these shared outings are a way back into public life. For the young people, I feel young again, one 85-year-old from Brantford in the northeastern part of the city said after a concert at Hamburg's Elbphilharmonie. They're so kind and respectful. Everyone talks buddy about youth these days, but these students are wonderful. We even exchange phone numbers. I hope we can go again soon. Would you like to read more good news about health, Germany, culture, aging, and seniors? KulturistenHochZwei participants celebrate friendship. Credit Boris Rostami Rahat. I'd been immersed in my career when my mother died and my father became ill, Watch recalls. When I saw how isolation accelerated his decline, I realized how important social contact and culture are for older people and how fragile those connections can be. She watched her father's world shrink. That's when I realized aging isn't just a biological process, it's a social challenge. She began volunteering to bring art experiences to low-income seniors. One woman she visited told her, in thick Hamburg dialect, "That's nice, dear, but I've got no one to go with." That comment, Watch says, was the spark. A year later, she registered KulturistenHochZwei as a non-profit company. What started with a few pilot outings is now a citywide network that has facilitated more than 6,000 cultural visits and has inspired similar programs in other German cities. The idea is as elegant as it is effective. Seniors who fall below the income threshold to interview then 15 per month for individuals, 40 for couples receive free tickets to cultural events. But instead of attending alone, they are matched with a culture buddy aged 16 or older, recruited through partnerships with local schools. For the young volunteers, the outings are a crash course in empathy and human connection. The teenagers commit to at least 3 cultural outings per school year and receive a certificate for their volunteer service. Before their first event, they attend a 5-hour training designed to build empathy, including wearing a 35-kilogram aging simulation suit that restricts movement and vision. The students wear it on buses and in public spaces to experience what it means to move through the city as an older person. At first, the students often laugh, thinking it feels like fitness training. But after half an hour, their posture changes. They begin to hunch over, move slower, and struggle with steps and curbs. That's when understanding starts, Watch says. They realize how much effort simple things require as we age. TE tickets are free for both the senior and the student thanks to partnerships with about 50 local cultural institutions and donors. But what the participants gain can't be measured in euros. It was wonderful. Haydn, Ravel, and Stravinsky, 70 musicians on stage. One 89-year-old from Winterhood said as she described her evening at the Liesjau, "My young companion smiled so warmly, always held the door, and even walked me back. Everything was 100% perfect." Students are equally enthusiastic. "It was super," said 18-year-old Lucas. "Even though the music wasn't really my style, we both enjoyed it a lot. I'd love to go again." Another student, Paul, 19, recalled a chilly evening escorting a senior from Einspil. "She was so nice, and I wanted to lend her my jacket because she was cold." Her version of the story: "Paul was a real gentleman. Imagine he offered me his jacket. Such a well-mannered young man." KulturistenHochZwei tackles not only isolation, but also age-related poverty. Around 85% of participating seniors are women, reflecting broader economic disparities in retirement income. Culture buddies at a music performance at Docks Club in Hamburg. Credit Christine Worch. The organization's funding rests on 4 pillars, roughly 20 to 25% from government agencies, and the rest comes from contributions from private foundations and philanthropists, corporate sponsorships, and grassroots fundraising. Germany, like many Western countries, has enormous wealth but also increasing poverty, Watch says. "I wanted a model where both the €10 donor and the €5,000 donor can contribute because everyone should be aware of this divide. But its greatest capital may be human connection. There was a time when many retirees simply slipped through the cracks," she says. Now there's more awareness that aging is a shared responsibility. Culture gives people a reason to step out the door and someone to step out with. The joy is palpable. One participant wrote after a dance performance, "I was feeling down all day, but I thought I can't cancel now. By the end I was dancing. The pain was gone. Please prescribe this instead of medicine, dancing and KulturistenHochZwei." For many participants, the outings reshape how they see each other and the generations they come from. Often, the pairings create lasting bonds. One student struggling with physics was matched with a retired physicist who began tutoring her. They still stay in touch. Another senior still meets a student she was paired with years ago for coffee. It's wonderful to see what a great young woman she has become since I met her as a schoolgirl. Another young man joined during the pandemic and later decided to study